What's up YouTube, Hero Rockmaster here, and it's the 4th day of Yugioh. My YouTuber gave to me a Tellarknight deck profile. Yeah guys, I got my Tellarknights here for you, and it hasn't changed apart from the new support from Invasion of Vengeance. So let me just get straight into it. So the basic monster lineup hasn't changed. You have the 3 Deneb, your Searcher, Rotor, whatever you want to call it. You need 3 of these to keep the deck flowing. 3 Altair, you're called Haunted. With Altair, Tellarknights cannot attack. Tellarknights are the only monsters that can attack the turn you use his effect, so be wary. 3 Yugioh, he's your Foolish Burial of the deck to ditch all your Tellarknight cards. So he can actually ditch your quick play spell cards to the grave as well. Why you want to do that, I don't know, but 3 Yugioh. So these are your main 3 that you want to use, that you use all the time. Just all in super rare and above is awesome. 2 Vega, staple as well, to special summon from hand. And the one card that I've been debating over every time I play the deck, 1 Cirrus. Now, I like Cirrus because he's the Jar of Avarice for Tellarknights, so you can recycle your Tellarknights and draw off him. So I wouldn't say he's a +1, but if you call the Haunted him, yeah, he's a +1. So if you summon him from grave, he's a +1. If you summon him, he's not a +1. So Cirrus can be good at times if you need to recycle your Tellarknight Xyz back. So because at the moment I've only got 1 Battlemice, so you need to recycle your Battlemice and Triviera a lot. So I just run the 1 Cirrus, and then a lot of people don't play this, but I do, just because the recycling potential. Also, he's another name for Tellarknights. 2 Honest. With the deck, since you've got Battlemice in here, this is kind of obsolete if you get Battlemice out, so you want to use this for a discard outlet. So discard target 4 Battlemice's effect. So 2 Honest, but if you don't use Battlemice, he's completely viable. 2 Max C, because kind of near the main deck. You don't want to side this in, because the deck's already pretty consistent, and you really want to take out cards for the ABC matchup, or already have cards for the ABC matchup. So the 2 Max C, just to plus off your opponent, and if you just drop this to stop them from doing plays, you're pretty much good, because if you at least +1 off it, you're fine. Or you can just discard it for Battlemice if you're up against the deck that doesn't special summon. Now for spell cards, I run 2 Genesis and a Skybridge. I'm actually thinking about cutting Skybridge or bumping it up to 2, just because of the fact that you can use it to take out. So if your Tellarknight monster were to get bottomless, like Deneb, you can get the effect of Deneb to add, and then you can, so basically, so you summon Deneb, they activate bottom, so you get his effect off for summon, they bottomless, you then chain Skybridge to bottomless this card, shuffle this back in, special summon, that bottomless is ineffective, and you still get Deneb's effect. So Skybridge I do find helpful at times, but it's not good at 1. You either want to see this or not see it at all. So either cut it or bump it up to 2. That's fine. Tellarknight Genesis I find is a great twin twister, because it doesn't target, first of all. So you can just destroy spell and trap cards, and it doesn't target, which is awesome. So you got cards that say, oh, your opponent cannot target spell trap cards you control card effects. Fine. You can just pop them. So this is kind of a better twin twister already. But if you have 5 Tellarknights, you have to destroy 5 spell trap cards. So you have to destroy spell trap cards equal to the number of other Tellarknight cards. So if you control 3 Tellarknights, you have to destroy 3 spell trap cards. So that's the thing with Genesis. So, and mass removal. You're up against a Demise deck, 5 Tellarknights, blow up the field. Or blow up the back row. Sorry, they were meant to go on top. Then the last 3 spell cards I run, Instant Fusion, Regeki, and Rotor. Just your main combo pieces. So Rotor, it's just another Deneb. Regeki, if you can't go Trivia first turn, you want a board wipe so you can. And then Instant Fusion so you can make... most of the time you can use Instant Fusion to make a Bet Lamias. So then you can use the Norden to go into... Sorry, no, that's my Dark build. I'm not going to go into that while I'm here. But Instant Fusion just helps go into Deltaros, Castell, Cowboy for game. Cowboy for game! But Instant Fusion just helps a lot with the one Norden. And seeing with the OCG thing, I think they banned Norden, wasn't it? I don't know, I haven't seen what the OCG has done to their ban list. If someone can send me a link to that, that would be helpful, because I don't really want to look up a video. Just takes too long, and I'm kind of busy, even though I'm not. Traps are on the 3 alpha still, because you still need to negate spells and traps, monster effects, whatever. And it's when the spell, trap, and monster effect. So it's not the activation, it's the effect that activated. So you can just negate it. So if if the spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, so they activate a spell, trap, or the effect of a monster, bang, you can alpha it, and then you get to +1. 3 anti-spell. You only run 6 spells. I've only got 5 fingers. I don't know why I'm doing that. You only run 6 spells cards, so anti-spell is a brilliant way just to fill up the deck. I actually don't have dimensional barriers. Otherwise, I might run this down to 2. But at the end, I'll show you what you can run for dimensional barrier. But 3 anti-spell works so well just against all your pendulum matchups, as you saw in the duel replay I did on day 2 against my friend's Dynamists. It's just phenomenal, this card. 3 Call the Haunted, because you need that graveyard revival. 3 Mirror Force, which I would take out for 3 Quaking, but my friend has 3 Quaking, and because I kinda how do I put this, took his Speedroid Terratop. Well, I didn't take it. He was wanting to trade for it, but he didn't have anything, but so I ended up trading a Scarlight for it, because the guy wanted a Scarlight. So I ended up getting the Terratop, and my friend gave me 20 bucks for it, so I kind of robbed him at 20 bucks. But then later that day I pulled Ulti Terratop, and I've still got it. But yeah, so you'd want to run 3 Quakings instead of 3 Mirror Force. Then 2 Oasis or Dragon Souls. You still need Graveyard Revival, but you can take them out for D barriers, or take one of them out for a D barrier. But since I don't have money for D barriers, then Oasis Dragon Souls it is. Grand Horn of Heaven works really well against... So basically it's his Solemn Strike for poor people. So the poor man's Solemn Strike. Or Warning. I actually don't run Warning, I should run Warning. But during your opponent's main phase, if they special summon a monster, negate that summon, and if you do, destroy that monster. When your opponent draws a card, then end their main phase. So if they're in their main phase 2, so if you've gone anti-spell against the Pendulum deck, and then they attacked and got the effect to destroy a spell card, a trap card, spell trap you control. Amazonas, for example, Sage does that. So if they just attack and destroy one card you control, pops anti-spell, go scale, pendulum summons, you can just Grand Horn and then skip their turn, basically, so they can't go off anymore. So Grand Horn actually helps, and I don't have Strike, so I would take them out for strikes. Then I've got the Trap Hole package. I don't have Treacherous, so I've got Time Space instead, which again, against the Pendulum matchup, which you find quite a bit of those here in Queensland, Australia, which is kind of weird. So Time Space works really well against all your opponent's extra deck. I use this a lot against my friend's Fusion, XZ, and Pendulum decks. I don't have a lot of friends at Synchro, which is weird. But I would run Bottomless and Treacherous, just because, not Treacherous, Bottomless and Floodgate. I'm talking about Floodgate. So Bottomless and Floodgate, but I've got Time Space for the moment as your Rafflesia targets. Then Vanities, because Vanities rocks. And then finally Wonder XZs. This helps get Triviera in your opponent's turn. It's probably one of the most trolliest cards in this deck. I only run it because of that, but I would take it out for a D barrier or just take it out to run 41 cards, because I believe this is a 42 card deck. Mainly because I've got a bunch of cards in here I have no idea what to take out, and I'm just used to running 42 card decks. Almost every deck I've made on DevPro or in real life ends up being 42, 41 cards. And it still runs completely well. It runs so well. So, but this I just run as a troll card, exiting your opponent's turn using monsters you control. So, it's really good. So that's for the deck. Now for the extra deck. I only have the one Bethlemice, but I would run 2 or 3 possibly, but 2 is probably the max I'd run because you can recycle it with Sirius. So yeah, it recycles Tellarknight. So Bethlemice makes everything on the field dark, and then you can detach an Exi material, discard a card, and then special summon one light Tellarknight Exi monster by using this face-up card you control as an Exi material. Also, you cannot Exi summon other monsters for the rest of this turn. This is treated as an Exi summon. Exi materials attached to this card also become Exi materials attached to summon monster. And then if you have 7 or more Tellarknight monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can do it during either player's turn. So again, you can Wonder Exi if you got 7 or more Tellarknights. So if you're late game, have Deneb, Sirius, Vega, Unicalhai, Alteran, Grave, with a Triviera and a Deltaros, while this on board with a card in hand and an overlay material. You can do this on your opponent's turn when they're making big plays and just go bye-bye, Triviera, boom, game. So this card is amazing. I like this card. I ended up having to get. I didn't pull this card sadly. I ended up buying it from a local store. So all those items. Well, I've got one. Then 2 Deltaros. I want to try to get 2 secret rares, but Ghost Rare looks cool for the moment, and it's actually rising in price. Look at that holo. Looks cool. So yeah, just everyone knows what Deltaros does, but its top effect, when this card has an Exi material, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal summon or special summon monsters. So they can't strike when you summon Triviera or strike when you summon Deltaros, because that activates on the summon of a Tellarknight. So you can't Deltaros that. So, well, you can't activate while Deltaros is on the field. So Deltaros protect. I run 2 instead of 1 because you can protect all your monsters. So, and it's monsters, which is why I think other people run it in decks. So if you got Deltaros on the field and they summon, what is it, Herald of Perfection, and you can't strike that because Deltaros. So everyone keeps forgetting that effect. Then once per turn, pops a card in the field by detaching. But what I normally do is I use 2 overlay units to pop 2 cards over 2 turns, and then if he's still in the field with 1 overlay material, I just pop himself, summon out another one, or summon out Triviera by using an effect. Deltaros is so good for combo plays and extending combo plays. It's insane what Deltaros does. With always what Deltaros has done. So 2 Deltaros because I don't like it at 1 or 3. But the one card I run 3 of, Triviera. Easily the most hated Tellarknight Exi of all time. When it's summoned by using 3 Tellarknight monsters, granted you cannot special summon monsters Tellarknights to turn this card's Exi summon, but when it's Exi summon, returns every other card on the field to the hand. If you've got 3 Call Hornets activated to bring this guy out, and then you Exi for him, recycle those Call the Haunted, bounce everything up, non-targetable, doesn't destroy it. Triviera rules. Detach, discard a card from, send a card from your opponent's hand. It's send, not discard. So Dark Worlds, they work on discarding. No, it sends. So they don't get the effect if it's discarded. Send, discard, same. That's not the same thing. So, also if it's destroyed with an Exi material, it special summons a Tellarknight monster from the graveyard. And since its effect activates in the graveyard, you can actually special summon himself from the grave, which is awesome. So if your opponent attacked with his last monster into this, goes to grave with 1 overlay material or more, special summon itself in defense, they can't get over it. Next turn, go for Constellar Diamond, and there you go. So, Triviera, awesome. And as I said, I run 2 Constellar Diamonds. I don't want to run 1, because if I get out 1, my opponent might Fog Blade, because this goes up against like the dark matchups. So if your opponent goes Star Venom, and activates the effect, you can just detach, negate, and destroy it, but it will get the effect engrave. But you can just detach, negate, and destroy it again, because it's no once per turn detach effect. So you can just keep negating Star Venom if they summon it. And also, I think it's an out to... Can't be targeted or destroyed by... Yeah, I think it's also an out to Zark. So, because that's a dark fusion. So if they activate the effect when on summon to destroy all spell trap cards, to destroy all cards your opponent controls, you can sell diamonds to negate and destroy it. The effect's negated, but it's not destroyed. And you can just bang. And it's a light, so you can just easily honest when Zark attacks it. So Constellar Diamond, with the new Zark coming out, you're going to be wanting to run this in Tellarknights. Then for my other XZ lineup, 1 Tsukiyomi, 1 Castell, 1 Dark Rebellion, 1 Gargar Cowboy, 1 Heroic Champion Rongomanayad. I like gaming people with this, just summon it, 2 turns later, game. 1 Rafflesia, and 1 Norton. So guys, I hope you like this tech profile. Don't forget to stay tuned in for the other, what is this, the 4th day I think it is. So don't forget to tune in for the next 8 days of Yu-Gi-Oh! I will be bringing you guys a few pack openings. You will see a dark variant of this deck where I actually use Betlemises make everything on the field dark effect. So it helps make Dark Law. I might run Koga as well, just to see how testing goes before next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Comment down below if you want to see any more deck profiles. If you want to see duel replays, live duel replays, don't forget to comment that down below. Other than that, guys, this is Heroic Master signing out. I hope you found this video mildly entertaining.